example that how a living entity gets a body, with the example that how a child who is interested to enjoy games, being a parent, you may provide some games depending on the eligibility, means depending upon the money you have, you can buy some instruments, and you can arrange some people to play the game, or you may just think of a computer game, whatever. So here you assume some character to play the game. So in that character, that suppose a video game where you are taking the character of a thief who uh, steals money or something, then he runs away and police is running after him. He run in the road, in the railway track, this and that, right? So in that character, while running and police chasing after him, when you play as the character of the thief, then you assume the character of the thief and merge in the game. You are not a thief, but you have assumed the character of thief. And when you are able to escape from the police, then you are happy. And sometimes when you are caught by the police, then you are unhappy. So that kind of situation is that we insisted to enjoy a material body. So Supreme Personality of Godhead facilitated that. Just like you insisted, a child insists to play many games. So when your kid go to market, he will demand uh, so many toys to play, right? Similarly, we think that by taking a material body and enjoying this metal body like the lord of this metal body, not only that, by getting some wealth, some uh, followers, and acting as per the will, being god, like god creates, maintain, and maintain, sustain, and destroy. And all of these devotees offer homages to Lord. So that is the way Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes happy. So his Atma Rama, but a Jiva observed that Supreme Personality of Godhead becoming happy by accepting homages from every devotees. So Jiva sometimes think that I also should become like God and get direct enjoyment to senses how God is getting. So with that desire from the Brahmajyoti, a living entity may desire to go to metal world to become lord over metal nature. So when one desire to lord over something, he cannot enter to spiritual world. He he is in Brahmajyoti, but those who have chosen Krishna to be master and offer their homages to Krishna, their bhakti, Those who are offering bhakti to Krishna and remaining in bhakti, they remain in the spiritual abode. Nitya Siddha Bhakta. Those who are not willing to offer bhakti but enjoy bhukti. Bhukti means what you want to directly enjoy through your active senses. That is bhukti. So this word is bhuk sabda, means enjoy. If it is offered to another person, it's called bhakti. So bhakti to whom? You may devote to your parents, wife, husband, or you may devote to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in that, when you devotee means you are interested in pleasing your beloved or your worshipable. That is bhakti. So bhakti is indirect process of enjoyment. Just like mother, by feeding the child, become more happy than she it herself. Similarly, indirect enjoyment is always greater than direct enjoyment. A generous person can eat himself one or two plates, but can feed millions of the plates. So the more he feeds, the more happiness he will get. So indirect pleasures are always more. Direct pleasures are less. Swatantra bhoga vancha. So bhoga vancha is the desire to enjoy the personal senses, is the cause for this material life. Those who desire to enjoy themselves. So they come to this material world to lord over something. Supreme Personality of Godhead simply facilitated for them to get such happiness and distress. In spiritual world, there is no distress because spiritual world is fully Sat Chit Anandamay. The pleasure or the happiness that one gets from spiritual world is Sat. Sat means eternal, not temporary. It is permanent, eternal. And that happiness is coming only from Vidya. There is no Vidya at all. Happiness is coming from Vidya. Vidya means from Supreme Personality of Godhead. जहाँ कृष्ण संबंध तहा विद्या जारे नाही कृष्ण संबंध ताय अविद्या where is कृष्ण संबंध forgotten that is अविद्या कृष्ण भूली सही जीव अनादि बहिर्मुख अतएव माया तार देह संसारेर दुःख अविद्या is the दुःख why there is dukkha because we want to search happiness from avidya. Avidya is a dukkha, but appears to be sukha. Marubhume marichika brahma. Just like in desert, one person can see water somewhere little far away. In a distance, he can see that there is water. In a daytime, during the sun, mirage occurs. That mirage give a illusion that there is water ahead. So this camel or any living entity run after that water, but water never comes. Similarly, in this metal body, we see that now I am struggling, now I have some problem, but I will get happy. Yes, I will get happiness by earning money. Now I have some problem. Some has money problem, wealth, dhan dukhi. Koi tan dukhi. Some have the diseases. So who has diseases? He'll think today I have disease, just tomorrow I will be cured, and again another diseases. That goes on. Some manadukhi mind because of so much bahusakha hi anantasya buddha avyasayinan, manifold, many branches, so many branches of the desires. More complicated are they who desires a lot and works towards get these. So they might have wealth, but many desires are there, and for that desires one get unhappiness, because desires will not be fulfilled, and desires will cause pain because of not getting fulfilled, whether fulfilled or not fulfilled. Kama is a krodha is a rajaguna samudbhava. Finally, turn it to anger. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammohat buddhinasat pranasyati. So, like that, one gradually destroys the inner peace. But those living entity who knows this, that the source of happiness should be always Vidya. Vidya means from Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they serve the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So even after in this world, when they realize that they take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead, then they do Nama Sankirtanam. Nama Sankirtanam Jasya Sarva Papa Pranasyati Pranama Dukha Samanam. By offering obeisances, homages to Supreme Personality of Godhead, by the bhakti process, by the bhakti sukha, all of the sufferings are gradually destroyed. Seva sukha dukha parama sampada nasaya vidya dukha. So while executing first class devotional service, sometimes you may get pleasure or comforts, sometimes discomforts. It is not that while doing seva you will not get any discomforts. You can only do seva in a comfort zone. No, devotee can do seva amidst of all discomforts, amidst of all unfavorable circumstances. Like in communist countries where Hare Krishna movement is so restricted, yet ISKCON devotees are preaching there. Like in scientific community, presenting the science of Krishna consciousness is not easy, and we have to struggle to present there. In scientific community, where empiricism is prominent, where there is no subjective emphasis or conscious studies are emphasized, where deep study of the truth is not possible. So there it is difficult. Anyway, discomfort can come from bhakti, from devotional service. But that comforts or discomforts, whatever you get, if it is completely engaged for the service of Krishna, then that is capable of destroying the avidya. Once avidya is destroyed, avidya is like darkness, timira, avidya timira dure হইলে প্রেমের হয় উদয়, just just like when the morning comes, the darkness gradually disappears and the sun gradually appears. So the devotee's life is like that. More he progresses is in Krishna consciousness, like from 4 a.m. Brahma Muhurta till 8 a.m. the light gradually increases. So similarly, in devotee's life, when he practices Krishna consciousness, avidya gradually disappears. The more you practice Krishna consciousness, more you mature, more you perfect, the more the avidya will disappear. So bhakti is the sun. So you have to decide how long this durations of 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. 4 hour. This 4 hour is this 4 hour duration of coming from darkness to light or from avidya to vidya is one life. Is this one life sufficient for you to come out of this avidya to vidya gradually? The more you practice Krishna consciousness in one lifetime, you can be able to cross the avidya and remain in vidya. It is essential. Otherwise, this material body is always longing for material engagements and cover the consciousness of the living entity and for asakti nibaddhate has so many incessant desires to enjoy the senses. This incessant desire to the senses bind him to this metal body, and at the time of death he will think some of the unfulfilled desire and desire such enjoyment in the next life. Jam jam bhap smaran tejati anta kalevaram sasada tat bhava bhavitaha. With that feeling of unsatisfied desire, he desires a specific enjoyment from a body. That is the nature of the living entity, that in one form of the body, whatever enjoyment he gets, accordingly he develops certain unfulfilled desire or certain desire to enjoy more, and accordingly he will get a next body. So but that all depend upon his karma, means his eligibility, or the credit card has some limit, right? So based on your uh, wealth, you can travel some country, spend money, and if your credit card finished, then you have to return. So like that, again you have to pay back, pay the due of the credit card, then you will have fresh limits to spend. So like that, so this human form of life is awarded to the living entities, and with this human form of life he has to work hard to get the limits to enjoy the material world, and when it is finished, then he has to come back again and again, has to go in another body, work hard, get the limits, and enjoy higher planetary systems. That's why it is happening. Like sukha or dukkha is the cycle for the living entity and is awarded based on the karmas. And because of this sukha or dukha, so he has to go from one body to another body. So those who have taken this body are definitely will enjoy for some period. It's not enjoyment, it is combined with lots of struggles and sufferings in Avidyatimira, but it is a perplexence of that he is enjoying or he will get enjoyment in future. So this happiness in future is the illusion. He always thinks that there is happiness in the future. Just like water is seen in desert in the form of mirage. Similarly, a living entity always sees happiness ahead. Never observed. Happiness never observed at present, but seen ahead. आगे मैं सुखी हो जाऊंगा, अभी दुखी हूं लेकिन अभी मेहनत करके पैसा कमा लूंगा, आगे सुखी हो जाऊंगा. So this thought is always there. मात्र स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगमा पाइनो नित्यस ताम तितिक्षु भारत. But a devotee, he knows that more I come in contact with this sense enjoyable objects, the more I will fall in the trap of sita usna sukha dukkha, conditional, conditioned to sometimes cold, sometimes heat, sometimes pleasure, sometimes displeasures. Day comes and goes like that. But I should be able to tolerate them. If I tolerate, then I will take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead and go beyond the influences of the Prakriti. Prakriti kriyavani gunai karma sarvasah ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate. That this material world is facilitated like they, just like the game is arranged by the father. He has given us a computer to play the game. So I am not the game, I am not the character, I'm assuming the character. So when one person is a child is completely assumed himself into the character, even the mother comes behind, stop your game, come and eat, but still he is not focusing on that. Similarly, even devotees are reminding do bhakti, come out of this childish mentality of enjoying senses in this material world. But child is not going to listen that. So similarly, we have so much into this character of the game that we are ignoring the instructions of the sadhu, guru, and shastra, that this life is not meant for sense enjoyments, but meant to give enjoyment to Krishna. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. All that you are desiring, we can at once be fulfilled by doing devotion to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why you are worried here and there, working so hard? जस्मिन अर्थ उदोपाने तावन सर्वत्र संप्लुतोके. Whatever things you can get from a well, that all can at once satisfied when you enter into a river or ocean. So, fool are they, those who derive pleasure from somewhere else other than Krishna. Those wise people take shelter and try to regulate senses. There will be pleasure and displeasure. There will be sukha and dukkha even while doing devotional service. It is not that you will always get pleasure, but you may get discomforts, but that discomforts will destroy the avidya. So be ready to encounter all kind of discomfort while working to please Krishna, spreading this science of Krishna consciousness. Yam hinavetyantiete purusam purusar savaha sama dukha sukham dhiram so amritatvaya kalpate. Those who are able to tolerate this sukha and dukkha, He is a sober person who is able to tolerate. So little hot, then we need air conditioned rooms, all this. No, one should try to tolerate sukha, dukha, heat, cold, and gradually his senses will able to control the demands of the senses. Like whatever small demand, like little heat, it demands air conditioned room, and you allow, then that makes the sense unregulated. So one should be able to serve some dukkha, and you are frustrated, and you are doing devotion. When sometimes some dukkha come, then started blaming Krishna, that you have only given. I am your devotee. How can you give me this kind of discomfort, this kind of distresses? So this tolerance, at least one must learn that we should tolerate these uh, little troubles that comes to us. There is no dukhar sukhar permanent. Na sat vidyato bhav, na bhav vidyate satah. So there is no permanence to this suffering, nor there is any permanence to this enjoyment. Ubhairapi drishtantasthu annayos tattvadarshibhi. Those who are self-realized persons should able to tolerate that. Sometimes there will be pleasures, sometimes there will be displeasures. But I must dedicate myself only to the devotional service. Then one will be able to tolerate these urges and go beyond this. Antavanta ime deha nitya sukta sarirana anasino aprameya satasmat jidyasvarata. So there is an end to this. One, when practice Krishna consciousness, tolerate these urges, then gradually he is elevated. Prasad sarva dukkhanam hanirasya upajayate. Why this mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Raga dvesa vimuktaisthu Vishayarindesharan atma vaishari vidhyatma prasadam adhigachati. So those who is able to tolerate this attachment, this aversions toward sense enjoyment, objects of sense enjoyment, and gradually tolerate them, become self-realized, become elevated. This Raja Tama will not affect such devotees. His senses will be Vishayan Indriya Isharan Atma Basair Vidhyatma. His soul takes the complete control of the senses. Jan Mana Anuvidhyate. Mind is completely controlled. Senses are controlled by mind. Mind is controlled by intelligence. Intelligence is controlled by the Atma or the self, by the person. Atma Vaser Vidhyatma. Prasadam Adhigachati. Such person is eligible to get the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prasad sarva dukkhanam hanirasyo upajayate prasanocheta sahiyasu buddhir parjavatisthate. Such a person who received the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead will able to surpass all such circumstances of happiness and the distresses and the attachment of the senses. His intelligence will take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. With this transcendental intelligence, one can, that is called Krishna consciousness, Krishna Chaitana. And with that, one devoted to Krishna, completely surrendered to Krishna, work for Krishna. नास्ति बुद्धिरजुक्तस्य न च आयुक्तस्य भावना न च अभावयतः शान्तिर् अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम. So without accepting Krishna, without engaged ajuktasya, without engaged in the service of Krishna, in devotional service, a person cannot be said to be in intelligence, not said to be intelligence of Krishna consciousness. Those who are lacking the intelligence of Krishna consciousness, they have no love or devotion for Krishna, bhavana, no relationship, no sambandha jnana. One must practice this. Adhato Brahma Jigyasa. One must inquire about the absolute truth. If one is not inquiring this, then there is no possibility to get this. Nacha ajuktasya bhavana. So most of the people are suffering due to this reason that they have never tried to connect themselves with the super soul, Paramatma, in the linking process of yoga or Krishna Bhakti, Krishna consciousness. And because of lacking their sambandha with Krishna, then the source destiny, suppose river and your field. Your field need water and there is water in the river. You need to connect through a channel. And that is Krishna consciousness. If you miss that, then there will be no water in your field. You cannot develop paddy or any kind of cultivated crops. You cannot get that. You need water. So crop is the enjoyment in this material world and in the abode of spiritual world. Wherever being in this world also, you can get this transcendental enjoyment. You believe there is only source of enjoyment is Krishna and nothing else can give you pleasure. All other things, Hari Samna Sukhera Kono Sambhavana Nai. Kono Sambhavana Nai. But there is illusion. We see there is Sambhavana in something else other than Krishna, always. But we don't get attached to the Sambhavana of Sukha from Krishna. Sambhavana means possibility. Krishna Sambandha Vina Kono Vastu Sukha Dite Nai Par. If you want to get pleasure, find Krishna Sambandha in everything. Hari Sambandha Vastuna. And they should be engaged for the service of the Lord. Hari Sambandha Vastu first. Knowing the nature of everything in relation to Krishna and engaging them for the pleasure of Krishna is Krishna Bhakti. Risikena Rusikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchite. Such a person is eligible to get happiness. So the karma is not everything. Karma should be in Krishna consciousness called karma yoga. Others, though they become expert in one of the karma, but after finishing their pious merit, again they fall back. Bhagaisarja prasaktanam taya prahutta chetasam. Their mind is taken away by this sense enjoyment. So they cannot attain everlasting happiness, and the source of all happiness is only and only Krishna. With this, you can get real happiness. Hare Krishna. Any questions?